Hello. In today's video, I will talk about the Two of Swords. So, how I understand this card is, for one, we're in the Suit of Swords, which is, the color is green, the element is the air, the Buddha family is karma. And the Two of Swords is about sitting in uncertainty. It represents temporary peace, and it represents being or sitting in a precarious position, one that could easily be knocked off balance, but in its wisdom state, or in its upright position, it's talking about sitting with that uncertainty, sitting with that, danger, I guess, and just being. It's guarded, and so in many ways, her guarding her heart could represent different things, of course, right? Like that there's an actual guarding of the heart, and yet you're there and you're present, or it could be like this, I'm protected, right? And so even though I'm in this precarious position, I'm actually okay because I'm protected. Of course, I look at this card in many, many different ways, and I guess it depends on what's coming up or what's happening, how I see the different aspects of the card. But it could also be that, she's in a position that she's unprepared to be knocked off balance, right? Like because she's guarded and she's holding two swords in her hands, she can't, if she goes to get knocked off balance, she can't really stop her fall very easily. She'd have to drop the swords, or, protect herself with the swords, or, something like that. And so, I often think of that as representing this precarious position, right? Like this position of danger, or this position of you're not really on solid ground here. Things could go one way or the other, and it could really shift things for you. And yet, she's just sitting in that space. And so, I often think of this card as that space or that peace within, this chaos, or within this, who knows what's going to happen place, that she's able to just sit and hold her seat through that. In its reverse position, this card is going to represent being knocked off balance, or not using the time, time within this pause that you have effectively. And when I think about this card in its reverse position, I have this memory of being with my father. He was teaching me the drum, and I remember this one time when he was telling me I was rushing. And at the time that he called this out, I was thinking about meeting up with my sisters, which I was doing after this session with my father. And I couldn't get myself in the room. I was thinking of, what I was going to do once I met up with them, and I, thinking about where we were meeting up, and, my mind was in this other place, and so I was rushing. And so in its reverse position, it's talking about that. It's talking about not being where you are. And when you do that, of course, I was not paying attention to the drum. I was not paying attention to my father. I was not paying attention to what was going on in the room at that time. And instead, I was down the street. I was rushing. I was, already headed down the street. I was already hanging out with my sisters. And so she's sitting on this ledge, and if she's not present, if she's not fully in this moment, she could very easily fall off the side, drop a sword, there are a lot of things that could happen in this moment if she isn't just present with it. And so that's basically what this card is about. Yeah, I think that's it for now. In the next video, I will talk about the Three of Swords. I would like to thank you for joining me. I look forward to talking to you soon.